All right.
All right, we're golden. Welcome to Mafia Con 2025, everyone. Bill's Mafia's here. My name is Scott. This is Corey. You're listening to the K-Gun Report coming at you from Seneca 1. What's up, Corey?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, well, we're hanging, man. The building is filling up with Bills fans. I see Justice over there. What's up? What's up, guys? I tell you what, this is quite the experience being asked to come and do something like this, and we're very excited here. Again, guys, the K-Gun Report, we're live every Tuesday, 8:30. Check us out at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. But this is the Mafia Con, guys. It's all about podcasts, player appearances, people coming together to help raise money for the Western New York families, Western New York heroes and punt. That's what this is all about today. And gotta love seeing all these people here putting in their time. And man, it's an amazing event that they got going on here. I have special guests with me from the BWO, guys. New to podcasting, Buffalo World Order. My man Corey here. Corey, tell people what it's all about there at Buffalo World Order.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. We do BWO on Wednesday nights from 8 to 9. It's myself, our buddy Patrick, and a lot of you guys probably know the super fan Buffalo Spartan. We have guests on. We're a fan base first show. We do comments. We have super fans as guests. So anything Bills, and we try to throw in a little wrestling too. So check it out Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock, guys. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. We got a bunch of super fans here today. I call them A-listers, Bills Mafia, and obviously the players are coming out a little bit from now. And check out the itinerary, guys. It's a busy day. It goes till about 5:30. Have a couple drinks for me. But yeah, our topic of discussion today, because it's fitting, because training camp starts on the 23rd, is position breakdown. Now, there's a lot of people thinking that our offense is set, right? But there's still a couple spots that they're trying to fill in who's going to be here, who's going to be there. But it's always a fun discussion because that's what podcasters like to talk about during the off season. And now that training camp's coming, we're going to pay extra attention to what's going on there. So we'll get right into the meat and potatoes of it. Offensively, I think we're set. But who, in your mind, Palmer, Moore, who's going to be our wide receiver number 3? Keon Coleman, X-back. We know, wide receiver 1. Shakir signed a contract, slot. Who's that number 3 guy?
Well, going into when you asked me that the other day, I was going with Moore first, but then I got looking at stats last night, and I mean, at the end of the day, stats don't really matter when it comes to a new season, a new team. But Palmer's numbers were the same almost as Moore, and he was doing it with half the receptions. But with Josh Allen, we all know he can bring out the best in anybody. So I think it's a toss-up between both of them. I think Palmer would be the better one in my mind. But I honestly, with Josh Allen throwing the ball, who knows which one it could be. But I think, in my mind, I would think Moore might take it with the speedier and what we need. But I'm slowly starting to think Palmer might be the guy. So it's a matchup I'm really interested in seeing.
Well, obviously, whoever fills that position is going to fill the void that Mac Hollins created when he left and went to the Patriots. So where I'm going with this is knowing Joe Brady's offense, knowing how to utilize that wide receiver number 3 as a big blocking wide receiver, I'm going Palmer. He's a bigger body. He's a better run blocker in my mind. And I think it's going to be all situational. I would hate to say the Z-back, he's the starter, but ZA and ZB, we'll call it. But Palmer, I mean, he came from Herbert. Obviously, he came from San Diego, and I always grade players on how the fans react when they lose their players. When the Chargers lost, I said San Diego, didn't I? When the Chargers lost Palmer, the fans were irate. They were upset. That's how you know we're getting someone good. But I'm a fan of him. I think he's better fit to take over that Mac Hollins role for sure, and hopefully it all pans out for him. Generally speaking, going into these games, week 1, they carry 5 wide receivers. So right now, you can agree, we have Keon, Shakir, Palmer, Moore. Who's the 5th guy? In your mind, we got Chenault there. We have the rookie they brought in, and Caden Prather. Shavers is there. Who do you got?
Shavers had some, whenever he did show up last year, he had a couple good plays, but that rookie, I'm interested to see him too. So I know one of the things Bean and McDermott love to do is bring the guys in, a lot of guys, whether they plan on using them or not. it makes the matchup, and it makes in camps and the preseason makes you have to fight for your spot, whether you're a guaranteed position or not. So the fifth one, I would say maybe the rookie, since he's the cheaper guy. You could probably get a couple years out of him if he shows something. I don't think he'd be any different than Shavers or who's there now.
Right, and all the offseason, even going into the free agency and the draft, Bills fans all over the place wanted a tall receiver and a fast receiver. And in Caden Prather, we definitely have that in that young buck. So, yeah, see what the rookie can do. But he's got an uphill climb. He's got Shavers, who showed speed last year in that one play. And obviously the Laviska Shenault, a guy that I really like coming out of college. He may still have a little bit in the tank. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. I do want to give a plug out to the Rochester area. We are from the Finger Lakes, the 24/7 Buff Pandemonium, and I love the fact that training camp comes to Rochester. It's a big fan base out there in Rochester, Finger Lakes area. They do the campus is beautiful, and they just do a great job. I'm so glad they bring that opportunity for Bills fans, so we don't have to drive an hour and a half away just to watch our Bills. But they do good stuff out there at St. John Fisher. Again, we agreed offense is pretty set. There is one position I think it would be fun to watch, and it's the tight end position, number 3. Dawson Knox, obviously there. Kincaid, we're hoping for a huge year, a rebuttal year per se. But that tight end 3, they have Davidson, who's a tall guy, tall, thin guy, and then they brought in a rookie from Georgia Tech, Jackson Hawes. Shorter, stocky, can block the hell out for the line. That's 2 big contrasting spots right there. Big, tall receiver like tight end, stocky, blocking tight end. With how the Buffalo Bills utilized 6 linemen last year, is this somewhere where Jackson Hawes will come in and take that 6 lineman position? Or on goal line situation, they're just bringing in all the heavies and moving that line forward? Well, who do you got there?
I think he'll take that line position. He's a big, he's a big boy. When you look at his highlights and what he did in college, I think that's why we brought him in, because we have Knox, who can block and catch. And then, like you said, we have Kincaid, who's the more wide receiver style tight end. So I think we go with Hawes, and that boy can really help open up lanes or help block dudes down the field. Because when you see some of his, he's blocking them 5-10 yards down, not just like a bump and go. He's knocking dudes on their ass. And
I mean, initial reaction, oh my God, they got somebody that doesn't have hardly any catches at college. But then he tore it up in minicamp. Apparently he was catching balls one-handed, jumping up and getting. So it'd be exciting to see for sure what he has to provide. We're going to switch over the defense. I think there's a lot more to talk about the defense as far as position battles. But I want to give a shout out to the Buff fan base. The K-Gun Report definitely is thankful to be a part of the Buff fan base network, sponsored by 26 Shirts, throwing on an amazing Mafia Con event, the second annual. Again, like I said, check out the itinerary. Got a lot going on today. I think we got Dwayne Carter over there. What's up? Congratulations, Dwayne. They just got married. There he is. That's awesome. All right. Speaking of Dwayne, we're going right to the defense now. Position battles, guys, we're discussing a big topic. Training camp starting up here in a couple days. A position battle, obviously that defensive line, rotation. We have 2 young fellas that now are on a 6-game suspension, so that throws things up in the air. That brings opportunity. That brings, I'm going to prove my point and make it hard for these guys to come in after week 6 to get some playing time. Is there anybody on that defensive line for you, edge included, that you believe is going to be a good battle to watch in this preseason?
Obviously, you have the main guys, Groot and Ed Oliver and them, but some of these younger guys they brought in, even the new guys, I know they're not going to play till week 7 or 8 after their suspension, but a couple of those younger guys that they drafted, I'm real interested to see, because they've got a lot of potential. And I think we addressed the defense this offseason, but we definitely addressed that defensive line. And if there's a way to if we didn't have to get rid of any of them, if we could just keep all of them and just keep rotating them and run, because they all have potential to be starters, even the rookies, I believe. So I think that's going to be one of the funnest things to watch this preseason and see where they go with it and what they try to do.
I agree. The Bills drafted heavy defense, and obviously TJ Sanders, congratulations to him. He signed that contract He's on the roster now. I can't wait to watch him play, but they brought in guys like him and Deion Walker, guys that can disrupt the middle, along with the Daquan Joneses and Ed Olivers of the world, and Ogunjobi is going to be there. So coming in, understanding that it's a rotational thing, you got to take the most with their opportunity, which the Bills tend to do. But it would be nice to see a lot more sacks this year. Obviously, we all want to see that quarterback eat dirt, but edge is a very interesting position for me because we got Bosa, we got Epinesa, Russo, obviously, and I would like to see like Russo and Epinesa out there more, but the rotational thing is going to prevent that from happening. I'm really excited for Michael Hoyt, the guy that they got out of the Rams. I believe McDermott, for the longest time, had been trying to find that guy that fulfills that Lorenzo Alexander spot. And I think he's under the radar. I think he's someone that definitely can, you'll see flying around playing linebacker, edge, maybe even put him in the middle somewhere. So I think, can they play preseason games, the guys on suspensions?
I think, yeah.
They could play preseason. They
I think so, yeah.
All right, gotcha. Cornerback 2. Benford signed that contract. He signed the extension. He's ours. Love what Bean did in bringing him in and signing him before Sauce signed his contract and all that stuff. The market has changed for corner, and we basically stole Benford. The CB2 spot for me is a big, not concern, but it'd be interesting to see past history, what McDermott's done. And we know the story. Elam comes in before Benford. Elam's out. Benford's now there. Is it Maxwell Harrison's to lose? Or is Trey White going to put up a fight and potentially take away some starting time right off the bat? I'm not saying it's permanent, but is McDermott going to slowly bring Maxwell in, or is he going to throw him to the Wolves?
See, it's being a Trey White fan, as hard as I want to say, because they even said that he's been looking better and younger. So I want to say just go Trey White. He knows it. He's older. But like you said, Maxwell Harrison, he has that speed. And one of the things we've lacked on defense is keeping up with that a speedy receiver downfield. So I don't want him to go back into the old set of switching them in and out. As soon as one has a bad play, okay, no, put the other one in. But especially the younger guy, give him a chance. Some of those bad plays will help him and develop him. Give him a chance. Okay, I did this wrong. When you take them out, I think that gets them more in their head. So I want to say utilize both of them like you did before so much. But I think they'll go Harrison, and then Trey White's there to step in when needed. But it could also, I see it being the other way too. Trey could be the guy because he knows the defense. He's he's older, but he's one of the best at the position. So put him, and then when he's getting burned or something or gets tired, then go with the younger guy. So I could see it both ways, but I think Harrison, it's more his to lose.
See, I got a couple things. Trey White, yeah, he's definitely slowed down, but he knows the system. And if you're asking him to drop more in the zone, he's no longer having to react to these receivers. Go find your spot, take care of your spot, and be productive. I don't want to see Harrison sitting and then being fed to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins when they meet against the Bengals. I want him to be beat up a little bit, well-groomed, and riding a high when he meets these guys come the back half of the season. So hopefully it's not another Kyer Elam situation. I don't think it's going to be, but man, we have a sour taste in our mouth, obviously, because of the whole Elam situation. But corner for sure, Maxwell Harrison, put him right out there. Put him right out there. And he's going to get beat up. Benford, well-known corner, top 5 in my mind. They're going to avoid him at all costs. So Harrison's going to see a lot of snaps, going to see a lot of balls coming his way. Make the most of it. Who in your mind is going to get the first pick 6 for this Bills defense? And you can't say Austin. Austin had two interceptions last year as a defensive lineman. First pick 6.
Taron Johnson.
There you go. There you go. Love that. Love that.
Got to.
Here's another interesting position that I don't think is set at all. The safety position. We got my man Cole Bishop coming in for a second year. We have Taylor Rapp. Obviously, came from the Rams. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and I think it's his position to lose. But in my mind, I think it's Rapp and Bishop. But my mind also says DeMar Hamlin's still here. My mind also says they brought in Derek Forrester, a great safety from the great. I say great. I love all my Bills players. But he produced well for Washington with a similar style defense. So it's not like he's being thrown in there and learning a new scheme. There's 4 guys, I believe, along with Cam Lewis and Jordan Hancock, the rookie they brought in, that are going to fight for that spot, we're going to see a lot of safety rotation in this training camp. Who do you got? Who's your two guys? And who do you see being like odd man out with this group?
Yeah, I want to see be the odd man out.
You want an odd man out?
Oh no, no, oh no.
No,
I think the two guys that are gonna. I think Cole Bishop's gonna step up big this year. I think he's gonna be. I don't know if he'll initially start, but I think he's definitely gonna. If he does, he's definitely soon gonna step out early in the season and be probably one of the top safeties for our team. I don't know why. Maybe he won't. It's just a hunch that I have. But I think, like you said, him and Johnson are probably the two guys that I see. But the thing, like you said, we have so much depth there now that it could be another one of, if we could afford it, keep them and rotate them. Because, like you said, DeMar Hamlin, he's smaller. I get that, and maybe not like as good as, but he was leading our defense last year. At I don't know if he finished still on top, but with tackles and all that. So he'd be a solid backup or a solid guy to swap in and out.
It's interesting. I saw a stat this past week that showed basically saying the Bills had a lot of turnovers. Without those turnovers, our Buffalo Bills defense was not that great, like 30th, I think, which is a surprising stat considering we made it to the championship, AFC championship. But if we can get those turnovers, which obviously we peanut punch everything, our defensive backs and linebackers are trained to do so, it'll be very interesting to see with these new acquisitions, if they could turn stuff around, if they don't get the turnovers, if they're still a top 15 defense. That's a big thing. I think we understand this with how the Bills drafted. So that's very exciting. Hopefully we get turnovers, sacks, and a lot of pick sixes. I was going to not talk about our linebackers because it's a very interesting subject. And I was afraid about time, but I think we do have enough time to talk linebackers. We have three guys, a three-headed monster. Obviously, the 4-2 defense, the nickel defense, however we want to call it. We now have three linebackers I believe could all start for the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, our veteran in Matt Milano comes in, does a great job, becomes an all-pro, gets injured. We know the story. This year, he takes a year off his contract. And we got a doc, 24/7 buff pandemonium. The doc's always in the house, and Mr. McKellar, Bruce McKellar, he tells us that the injury that he had, it can heal structurally well, but the pain that comes with that particular injury can be very painful. So it makes you wonder why Milano took the year off. Is he having pain? Is he going to test it out one more year? But we got to keep in mind, he's still with Buffalo. Bernard signed his contract. He's there for a while. I love Dorian Williams. I love how he fulfilled Milano's spot, led the team in tackles. I think he was top 5 in tackles while he was playing in the NFL. And Milano comes back and Dorian Williams gets the can. There's a three-headed monster. At some point, you got to make a decision. Is Dorian Williams and Bernard going to be the linebackers after the bye? When? It's got to happen. What's your take on that?
I agree with you. Dorian Williams, I think, stepped up big and was one of the key factors to our defense last year when Milano was out. So I love Milano, and I'm a huge fan. If he can come back, and it's been, 2 years now pretty much? So if he can come back and still have that level of play, which I believe he can, he's a dog. He always fights for that. But Dorian Williams, I think, he's the guy. I think he's not that he's better than Milano, but younger and strong. I think he's our best linebacker. And then even a couple of the rookies coming up have potential too, like you said, with 3 starters. So between him and Milano, I think it's solid. It's one of the most solid spots we got. But
and for me, it's all about play time. So the more Dorian Williams is sitting on the bench, he's losing reps. He's not going to develop in the guy that you drafted from Tulane 2 years ago. So for me, it's like the Bills fans deserve to see a Matt Milano and Bernard defense. They deserve to see them both healthy, and they deserve to see both all-pro linebackers playing with that new revamped defensive line that they have to take up the gaps. Lots of tackles I can see from those two, and even sacks. But it's something I think we deserve. But Dorian Williams deserves a chance to be a starter too. It's a toss-up.
Especially if he's doing as good as he is and affecting the defense as much. And I think he's one of the big guys that does stir up the other team's offense, and that's why they do get so much interceptions. Because when he's on the field, he's like a Milano. You have to watch for him. He's coming. Whether it's deep or whether he's going to sack, he's always there.
So we got 12:05 now. I'm not much sure how much time we got left for the show. But I do want to we always do a final thoughts and stuff on our show, the K Gun Report, which is live every Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Check out 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. That is the page on all social medias. You'll see us airing live every Tuesday at 8:30. I want to give a special shout out to Del Reed and 26 Shirts for letting us do this. This is quite the experience to do this Mafia Con. The crowd is amazing. There's Bills fans all over the place. Obviously signings, there's food, there's vendors, all that good stuff. Be sure to hit that up. Shout out to the fan base again for bringing us into their network a couple years ago, bringing these opportunities for us. Special thanks to the BWO, the Buffalo World Order. Show them that shirt. Right there's the camera. Check them out. They're new to the podcasting world. My man Corey, got Patrick Hughes, and Buffalo Spartans here. He's part of that group too. So hit them up. You guys are air on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock,
Yep,
right?
Wednesdays at 8.
Little mix between Bills football and some wrestling. It's a good combination. There's a lot of commingling between the two groups. And I do want to, what's that? It's choking you. We also at 24/7 Buff Pandemonium have a charity event that we do every year. Quick at the Rager, we call it the regular season Rager at Reinvention on September 6th. Bills Mafia is all about giving, all about donating, all about helping Western New York families. This particular one is Mark Maddox's foundation, to Help One Foundation for the Rager. But I know Bills Mafia does great things. They'll do great things today at the Mafia Con, raising money for the Western New York Heroes and the Punt Foundation. For sure, it's a good thing. I do want to give you a minute to give your final thought of the day, and then we'll move on to the next group coming up.
No, man, I appreciate you giving me the invite to do this with you, brother. And then, like you said, the guys here inviting us out. This is an awesome event. This is my first Mafia Con. So it's great seeing all the guys, like you said, our buddy Buffalo Spartan and the rest of the super fans, everyone else coming out. Check out our show, BWO, on Wednesdays at 8, the K Gun on Tuesdays. And thank you guys so much for allowing us to be here. I appreciate it.
All right, for sure. My final thought, as I always end, be good, do good, go Bills, as Josh Allen always says. But today is a day about doing all that. Take pictures, enjoy this time. We are in a good time as Bills fans. And yeah, for sure. Cheers and go Bills.
Go Bills.